I think obviously technology is obviously been an enabler of industries for decades, and AI is revolutionary. There's no doubt about that. And I was told, I was asked a question, is AI equivalent to the dot-com boom in the '90s? And I said, no, it's the equivalent of the discovery of electricity. It's that revolutionary. But with any tool, you have to use it properly, and you have to use it effectively. Just putting an AI extension at the end of your company's, domain doesn't make you an AI company.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is the CEO of business accelerator Black Dog Venture Partners, and he's based out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Please welcome Scott Kelly. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dylan. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you on here. You're in one of my favorite areas, really, of the world, definitely of the country. I'm a big fan of really everything going on in beautiful St. Pete. But before we hop into that, walk me through how you got into the real estate space. I always ask my guests how they got into real estate.
Sure. I started, obviously, I've made a number of investments in my career, and many of them were in real estate, both, residential and commercial. I bought my own office complex, back in the '90s when I was in San Francisco. And, although I work with a lot of technology startups, I've recently got involved more in PropTech and construction tech, because, the real estate industry is changing, and technology is really leading the way to help developers develop more efficiently and more cost effectively. And it's helping, purchasers make better informed decisions. And so we made a couple of investments and involved in a couple of projects in the space. So we're really applying technology right now to the real estate industry.
I want to ask you about the business accelerator space. I think for folks who may be unfamiliar with this, walk us through, 1,000-foot view. What's involved in a business accelerator? Is it funding? Is it ideas? Is it both?
It's really all inclusive. So we, at Black Dog, we help companies get access to funding and capital through our network of investors and lenders. We also help them grow their business by creating partnerships and helping them with biz development, sales, and marketing. Help them build their team to make sure they're adequately prepared to grow a business. And then eventually, when the time is right, help them exit. So, we try to have an all-inclusive approach, because the reality is sometimes the answer for an entrepreneur is capital, and sometimes the answer is everything but capital.
I want to ask you about that space. I think we're a real estate show, right? And of course, people in real estate tend to have one focus and one niche, but also you see real estate business owners and business buyers venturing off into the trades. I've had people who own gyms as well, and really so many different asset classes. Is there one specific asset class or industry that Black Dog specializes in, or is it across the board?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Well, our primary focus has been technology because technology impacts every business, including real estate. As I mentioned before, the construction industry has been an industry that has not been impacted by technology for generations. And you've got a new generation of, companies in the construction development space that are aging out, and the new folk taking over want to use technology. So, what we are finding is that we've been involved in technology, whether it's cybersecurity or artificial intelligence or other industries. But, over the last several months and couple of years, real estate has been one of these industries significantly impacted by technology and, specifically AI.
It's tremendous how much it's taken over. I mean, from the inside as a realtor, almost surprised that an industry can move so fast. I also have a background as a student in software engineering. One of the interesting things is I feel like in a lot of ways, real estate has a lot of old guard, but there's also a tremendous push to really be the first adopters of so much of this tech, which I think is great to see.
Absolutely. We have two portfolio companies. One in property tech and that's a company called Property Lens, and they are effectively the Carfax for homes. So they allow purchasers and real estate agents to really provide all the customer information they need right away before making that purchase. And then in the construction space, we're working with a company called AI Builder Company, and they basically provide using AI to provide takeoff estimates far faster and quicker, helping to streamline the construction space. So, there's some really great
Hmm.
technology out there, which is really moving the whole real estate industry, rapidly forward.
I want to ask you, getting a little bit granular here, Scott. Maybe give away some of the gold, but not all of the gold. When we talk about tech AI and we talk about business acceleration, we talk about funding, but also access to strategic relationships. Tech seems like maybe a more challenging place to play ball in because there's more risk. When you're talking to business owners who have a tech company, are you really, I don't want to say underwriting, but are you assessing, hey, we understand we're going to have to take on X many companies. There's only going to be a certain percentage that will succeed. And is that higher than in some other spaces? Or are you able to leverage that, or to hedge against that risk in some sense by having a purview that, hey, we're going to have a greater than, let's say 50% success rate with these tech businesses. What's your angle?
Well, the angle and the first part of that is for everyone listening, they have to understand that technology investing and startup investing is probably the highest level of risk out there. It's betting black at the casino, so there's a lot of risk there. Technology can be great, but you have to have a team that can execute that technology and turning into a profitable business that eventually exits. But that said, what we bring it to the table is the opportunity to grow a business with or without funding. Because I tell a lot of entrepreneurs that, maybe you shouldn't seek venture capital. Maybe you should just build a really good business and generate really good revenue and then sell it for a really good profit. Now, that said, obviously, capital can accelerate the process. Some industries need the capital. But what we try to bring to the table is, our motto is that we solve problems and create opportunities. And those solutions and those opportunities sometimes involve raising money, but sometimes it involves making a phone call and building a strategic relationship and
Right.
generating sales as you wouldn't get otherwise. And that's really what we've tried to bring to the table.
Do you find that most folks who are coming to you and people at that stage where they're considering taking on capital are looking at it first from the capital lens and not enough from what can I do to scale my business? Or is it a little bit of both that you have folks coming to you that may not be interested in capital, but that would benefit them nonetheless?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, absolutely. We get both sides of it. We have companies all the time come to us, and we get literally hundreds of pitch decks from early stage companies every month. And some of them, like I said, capital is what they need or what they think they need to accelerate the process. And honestly, sometimes it's just the right relationship and the right sales process and the right marketing. We had a company a couple of years ago that wanted to raise $2 million. I looked at their product and I was able to help them sell $2 million of their product. So they got revenue without giving away anything in terms of equity, and were able to grow the business without the equity. Again, we are in the business of helping companies get in front of capital, but sometimes that capital and the best non-dilutive capital is going out there and selling your product or service.
Right. I think there's definitely risks on all sides, right? So you talk about investing in real estate tech, but then as a business owner, when you've crafted your vision of it, and then you start taking on capital without having the sales to boot, well, now you have more pressure on you to produce. I do want to pivot a bit here, Scott, and ask you about what we're seeing with disruption when it comes to tech and AI. There's now been so much with what I would call speed to lead, with being the first to get in front of clients, with also automated follow up and how this can innovate a rather antiquated system, right? How many old businesses or older businesses have been successful for decades, but may still be doing things without any type of consistent follow up, just kind of relying on a local reputation. Are you seeing a lot of that as well? And is that a lot of what you see as a value add, or is it a different messaging and different use cases that you come across with tech and AI?
Well, I think obviously technology is obviously been an enabler of industries for decades, and AI is revolutionary. There's no doubt about that. And I was asked a question, is AI equivalent to the dot-com boom in the '90s? And I said, no, it's the equivalent of the discovery of electricity. It's that revolutionary. But with any tool, you have to use it properly, and you have to use it effectively. Just putting an AI extension at the end of your company's, domain doesn't make you an AI company. We're at this point now where it's from not just building, large language models, but it's actually really applying the technology to make your business more effective. And we've got a pretty narrow window for companies to be unique about that. In the
Yeah.
mid '90s, having a .com was something that only the cool people did. Now everyone has to have a .com, and we're probably a year or so away from the same thing happening in AI. But it's a revolutionary technology. But again, like any tool, a hammer is really effective hitting a nail. It's very ineffective when it hits your thumb.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. One of the things with AI that has been challenging for some people, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of this as well because you're in it every day, is you see, okay, well, this is where I know it can go. Like for instance, voice tech, right? Well, several months ago, it wasn't quite there. People were saying that, I don't necessarily want to have it be taking inbound calls. Well, now I've spoken with models where it's almost indistinguishable. It fools me, and I'm in the know. And so I think, you do have to be able to see, hey, well, where is AI at right now? How can I best use it? But also, how do I make sure that I'm not behind the eight ball, but also putting it out too soon?
Right. There's obviously a healthy balance between, technology and humanity and, having human interaction. Um, at this point, AI has not taken over my job and my profession yet. Um, but the reality is at the end of the day, business is still done with relationships. Now, AI help you get in front of more people more effectively? Yes. Can it help build better relationships? That's yet to be seen.
I do want to pivot a bit here, Scott, and ask you about for folks who may be looking at scaling a tech business, right? And they're thinking about, hey, do I need capital? Do I need strategic relationships? Do I need to refine my model? What general advice, again, without giving away all the gold, what general advice would you give folks who may be in that space?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Well, I tell people, every entrepreneur, especially if you're a tech, entrepreneur, build your team and build the people around you that can execute. Because I think every entrepreneur has to ask themselves two questions. One's an easy question, one's hard. The easy question is, what are you good at? And the hard question is, what are you bad at? And then once you really discover that, build a team around that can fill in those gaps. Because, ideas are great. Execution is what makes companies and entrepreneurs succeed.
When we talk about execution at that level, startups, right? It can feel a little bit like there's one cowboy leading the way, and then everyone else is following suit. But then when you get larger, especially when you start taking on capital, SOPs, processes, you need teams in place. I'm sure you see a lot of that where you have one kind of uh, forceful leader who's leading the charge, but then when things scale, there needs to be a little bit more balance. How can companies and young entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, folks who are leading companies balance that kind of, I got this, this is my baby off the ground with also scaling?
Well, that's, as I mentioned before, it becomes really important to really look within yourself and understand, look at it from the other standpoint. If I was a customer buying your product or service, would I feel more comfortable with a solopreneur or a team of experts in different areas? If I was an investor, would I feel more comfortable with a solopreneur, understand the technology or the business, but didn't understand sales, marketing, accounting, legal, and other aspects of the business? So it's really incumbent upon entrepreneurs, because most entrepreneurs, myself included, may start as a solopreneur. Um, can you be successful as a solopreneur? Absolutely. Can you scale as a solopreneur? That's a little more challenging, unless you have an adequate team that really can fill in, the gaps.
I do want to ask you about the St. Petersburg area. I'm a big fan of that area. Uh, before I let you go, I've had so many people on the show from St. Petersburg who've told me great things. I've actually wanted to, and I still do want to move there at some point in time. I think it would be great. There does seem to be something in the water. It could be Florida in general, but I think St. Petersburg. There's a lot of interest from entrepreneurs all across the country in that area. Is what's going on in St. Petersburg?
Well, Pittsburgh has a great culture of entrepreneurism and a great culture in general. I lived and worked around the world. I spent most of my career on the West Coast in California and the Southwest. And I moved to the area about a little over 3 years ago, and fell in love with the place. From a cultural standpoint, you've got plenty of things to do here and be entertained, from the beach to downtown to great restaurants. But from an entrepreneur standpoint, I could throw a rock and hit a college or university, anywhere in the Tampa Bay area. So there's a great education system training, the leaders and the disruptors of tomorrow. And honestly, people are coming here for just that reason. You've got a quality of life. You've got obviously a very good tax system with no state tax here in Florida. And you've got an environment of, next up. I told people years ago that when I first moved here, this is the next Austin, Texas. And honestly, I think people are going to start saying they're the next St. Petersburg.
That's right. That's right. And as a Texas licensed realtor, I can echo that. It does feel that way. Very interesting. We are coming up on time here, though, Scott. Where can folks go if they're interested in reaching out to you, Black Dog Venture Partners? How can folks get in contact with you?
Sure. You can reach out to me through my website, blackdogventurepartners.com. If you want to learn more about pitching to investors, you can go to vcfastpitch.com. You can always find me at LinkedIn and my social media channels at Black Dog CEO. And if you send me an email to Scott at Black Dog VP and put in the subject line startup tools, I'll send you a bunch of startup tools from how to build a pitch deck and how to grow your business for free.
Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.